Hello and welcome to Excellence in Everything Live. I am your host, Linnita Hosten, and on Excellence in Everything Live, we talk about the three C's. Everything about building confidence of today's teens, building competence, which is their proficiency to something very distinctly, and then building their competitive advantage in the workforce. So our content tailors towards those who love and lead today's teen. I'm doing this series though for the month of September, which is actually my birthday month, on productivity. Time management is a huge thing for me. I'm excited to talk about a lot of gems that I've learned and that I practice to see some of the compounded outcomes God has blessed me with. We're going to end right after today's intro. You are excellence. Your mind is of excellence. Your visions are of excellence. Your unique superpower is of excellence. You amplify a voice of excellence. Your contribution to this world will be of excellence. You will your highest goals and desires with excellence. You are capable of excellence. You have an inner power of excellence. You will achieve excellence in everything, every time. It is Tuesday, and I get excited to do this kind of work with you guys weekly. If I have not yet met you, my name is Linnita Hosten, and I coach high school students to create what I call a PP, which is a post-productivity graduation plan. I'm really passionate about our kids knowing what they want, knowing who they are, and knowing what exactly they need to do to get to their ideal career path. And so I help them devise a plan to do so. And so that's a little bit about my work. I'm often hired to do different things. Sometimes I'm hired to facilitate my own curriculum, which I call the Excellence Academy. And see the theme here. Excellence is my personal motto. I believe excellence in everything, every time is the only option. It's something that I really pride myself in doing. Also biblical too. I also write custom curriculums related to career and education readiness. I don't say college because sometimes the outcome, depending on the demographic, is not college. It could be there's so many options, and I've done a series on it before as well. And then the last thing, people invite me in to speak all the time. All the time. If you're interested in receiving a menu of services, just shoot that in the whichever platform you are watching from and let me know. I'm happy to send that to you. But if you are watching live today, I want you to go ahead and type in the chat, I am here. I am here. If you're watching and you are new, let me know where you're streaming from. Last week we had a guest from Louisiana, and that was pretty dope. So let me know where you're watching from in the world. I always like to see where folks are coming from. And again, if you are interested in connecting, you can do so at linnitahosten.com/connect. Okay, so I have this thing where I don't believe that you can manage time. Time is an indefinite existence. We can't control it, so that you can't manage something that you don't have control over. I feel like the only thing that we can do is organize the time that we have. So that language shifts. Organization is a form of control that you do have. And I always say, if you're not controlling the things that you can control, you're ultimately being controlled. You're unable to organize your time to achieve the things you desire, then the things that you are committing to or doing, they have more control over your day. And so today I want to give you back that control. I can't physically do it, but I want to give you some practical things to think about and things that you can consider to organize your day and your time. I feel like what we're spending our time is a reflection of absolutely this. It's a reflection of what matters to you. So you feel deeply connected to it, or you feel deeply like it has to happen, or you feel like it's a part of your identity. I also feel like how you spend your time is a reflection of what you enjoy. So if you find yourself spending a lot of time doing this thing, it's something from that thing that you feel fulfillment or joy in. It's also a reflection of what you're most comfortable doing. We're not repeatedly doing things uncomfortable. We're repeatedly doing things that make us feel comfort. And so how you're spending your time is a form of comfort too, what you're doing or you see yourself doing repeatedly. And then lastly, how you spend time will remind what you're learning. So I always, when I take an assessment of my time, it is really a reflection of what I am repeatedly learning. And so those are really powerful reminders that while we can't manage the time that we have, but we do have the control to organize our time. If we're thinking about time under these constraints or these pieces in mind, it really puts us stuff into perspective. On a scale of 1 to 10, and you can write this in the comments if you're watching live. 1 being I really need to do better. 10 being I'm killing it. Right now, you can answer this based off of that scale number. Right now, my time is always being spent in a way that I am doing what matters most. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being, I could do better, 10 being, yep, I'm really enjoying that. I want you to think of that as you're watching today. If you don't feel comfortable typing it in the comments, you can just think of it aloud to yourself. I said aloud. On a scale of 1 to 10, right now my time is being spent with the people who I enjoy most. On a scale of 1 to 10, just think about that. Okay, we have somebody participating today. Thank you for sharing. Said 5. Okay. On the scale of 1 to 10, here's the last one. Here is the last one. On the scale of 1 to 10, my time is being spent in a way that I am very proud to share. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being, 10 being, I'm killing this area, so I'm good. Based on how you respond to those 3 scale questions, we'll identify the areas that you may have an option to improve on. So you've self-identified the option, not me. I didn't say it. And so let's jump to the practical ways in which you can manage time. I always feel like you can throw some D's on everything. You can choose to delete it. You can choose to defer it. You can choose to delegate it, or you can choose to do it. Throw some D's on it. That's what I feel like we have the option to do. So you can choose to delete it. Some things don't deserve or may not be priority in this time period. Some people say season. Is it necessary? Have you evaluated if it's still valuable? Are you in a new stage where your needs have changed, but you're still committed to whatever thing is? Have you been avoiding a hard conversation? So some things we need to eliminate. That's the first D is delete. Just get rid of it. Is it time consuming? Do you regret doing it? Do you have ill feelings when you have to report to do it? What is the physiological response in your body when you have to do the thing that's taking up time? Or using your time. I don't want to say taking up. Those are symptoms, I would say, or things to consider if you're thinking about something that you can delete. Has it ran its course? And everything ain't supposed to be for a lifetime. So that's the first D. The second D is it something that you can do? It is priority, but it's not priority right now. It's important. There's some other things that are more pressing, more time sensitive. Maybe the other things have a greater return on investment. You want to do them sooner. They're time sensitive. And so maybe you're deferring some things that are important to you, but you're going to do them in the last quarter of the year or the first quarter of 2023. They're still priority. They're still important. But right now, the focus is not the thing. So that's the second D. You can defer it. The third D is you can delegate it. Why does everybody feel like they got to be the person to do it? Why do you feel like you got to be the person to do it? Hey, Walter, maybe delegation is something that you could really benefit from. Who in your village is able to help you carry some of your load? Are you asking for help? Do you feel comfortable asking for help? Are you the person that other people ask for help? I will even, go as to deep say, do you feel like you have to always be the hero? So asking for help is a form of weakness. Is that something that you can revisit? Asking for help, I think, is a form of strength, especially when you're asking of people who are quite capable and competent to help. And so delegation is a really is one that I feel like is underutilized. Who in your village can assist you with doing that extra task that you have to do repeatedly? So let's say you have to pick up from daycare or you have to pick up from practice. Is godmommy available? Maybe dad or grandma's not available. Is a good girlfriend available? Even if it's just one time a week to free you up to do something else. Let's say this year you want to have more physical activity, but commuting from work to daycare, time sucks for you. And the gym, let's say, it's closer to your office or it's close to your home because you work from home. Maybe delegating one time out of the week, godmommy, can you do pickup? Just asking village for help strategically. It's a way to win back your time. That's a D. And the last D is some stuff you just gotta do. Even though it don't feel good, even though you're just I hate I gotta do this, you just gotta suck it up and do it. And you can choose how you're gonna do those things. And that's what I'm gonna walk you through, is practical ways in which you can organize your time with the things that you have to do. So we just threw some D's on it. You're either going to delete it, you're going to delegate it, you're going to defer, or you're actually going to do it. So 3 practical ways in which you can organize your time and do the things that are on that do list. So the first one is habit stacking. I learned this from the book Atomic Habits. And I'll share the link, the Amazon link, if you're interested in reading it. But habit stacking is simply thinking about something that you already do consistently. So let's say you have like a morning routine in which you walk. I walk 3 times a week. Maybe the new habit that you want to introduce, prayer time or quiet time or devotional time. Maybe you want to introduce the habit of calling a loved one, a distant relative or distant friend. Or maybe you want to introduce the habit of at least previewing your emails before you start your day. Adding them onto an existing habit. So that's where the stacking comes in. So you have this existing habit that's almost like muscle memory. You wake up, some of us, we check our phones. Some of us, we wake up, we stretch, we immediately pray. Some of us, we wake up, we don't do none of that. We use the bathroom, brush our teeth, jump shower. Those are habits. Stack something on top of something that you're already doing without thinking. So instead of trying to introduce a new habit without like its own, you would introduce a habit in existence with something you already do. So another common habit people usually have, some people have, is that they have a routine of getting caffeine prior to starting the day. Maybe it's Starbucks. For me, I make green tea matcha at home, but in the pandemic, my friends gifted me with an espresso machine. So making espresso in the morning was a habit of mine. Well, what I did was I stacked on, so trifling, but instead of walking my dog, who was 67 pounds, I would tie him to a tree because I was too lazy to walk him. And I have so many, don't even judge me, don't talk about me or nothing. But I said I wanted to like be more physical, so I want to walk him. I really didn't want to, but I want to. So what I did was my routine after I finished making my espresso, and I go outside and walk the dog. So then it became habit for him and I just stacked it on something that I existingly do. So now I no longer have a dog, but I still go walking in the morning. The habit that I stacked onto that is listening to my current audiobook. So that's just one idea. So you don't have to necessarily introduce when you're thinking about organizing your day. Some things if you have to do repeatedly, like I call them mundane tasks, you have to check email, you have to return calls, you have to check in. Maybe you have to make lunch. Like think about the things that you have to do repeatedly. Those are the ones that you want to habit stack, is what I would say, on your do list. So that's the first one. My second secret, and I promise you, this is like a gem for me. Hey, Robert. Robert said, great suggestion on hacks, habit stacking. Is this something that you practice? Let me know. And did you also happen to check out Atomic Habits, which is definitely one of the top books I would recommend. Time blocking is my secret killer. Every hour of my day is assigned a task. It can be so simple as pray, make breakfast, pause, take lunch. Like every hour has a task, literally. I learned this from a high performance planner that Brendan Burchard actually sells. He is a motivational guru, but I purchased the planner like in 2020, and inside of it, you could like literally map out your entire day. You can see that here. And I would literally assign everything a task, complete those questions on the side, and identify my top goals and priorities and tasks that must be done today. This is the inside of what that planner looks like. I don't get any kickback off of any of this. I'm just sharing with you some of the productivity habits that I've seen, like literally transform how my time is utilized. And so using or time blocking essentially has been profound. So once that time is up, if my task is not finished, what I typically do if it's not like due that day, it just rolls over into the next day. But it makes you laser focus in on some specific things. I never block off more than 2 hours of time because, to be honest, I'm not that what's the word I'm looking for? When you are like not paying attention. I'm not that focused that I can do something for more than 2 hours. It's unrealistic for me to block out that much time. So I would literally block out two hours max. And then maybe after that, it might be take a break or check email, send proposal, call grandma. It might even be go to the post office and then come back and finish the task. Sometimes if it's due that day, I will block it out like 2 times in the day, but not back to back. If you're interested in getting the high performance planner, it is available on Amazon. I think it's like $24. So here's the thing. There is a thing called decision fatigue. It's like psychologically you are drained at the thought of making repeated decisions every day. I can't remember where I learned this from, but the amount of decisions you have to make each day is insane. And if you are a parent or you have a large household or you have multiple dependents, elderly parents, you're making decisions for other people too, not you. And so one of the things that I found, if that resonates with you, if you're making decisions for multiple people, then your night routine matters because that is how you win the day. You don't win the day when you wake up, you win it the night before. So to eliminate decision fatigue during the day when you should be operating at your peak, organizing your time because you want to have control over that, the night before is when you set your routine. This is my plan for the day. So when I'm doing my time blocking, I'm doing it like for tomorrow, like when I finish this live and I do all my post-production stuff, I am doing my time blocking for tomorrow. It's part of my night routine. So I'm not scrolling on the gram. I'm not binge eating. I'm not doing anything, not for a long period of time. I might be doing those things, but before I go to sleep, I literally have time blocked the day. So your night routine matters. The other part of the night routine is like the emotional state that you end your day in. It affects the next day. So if you feel, let's say you feel consumed and maybe you're not very peaceful, maybe you're upset, maybe you get into an argument with your spouse, argument with a friend, you don't sleep those things off. They literally carry with you the next day. If you're anything like me where I can't function when my emotional well-being is just off balance, like I can't just like suppress it, and I can't. I wish I could do that, but I can't. So one of the ways that I prevent that from happening, like my next day being stolen before it happens, is really grounding myself in prayer if I'm feeling like that before I go to sleep. That's my way of owning my day the next day. Because what happens is a ripple effect. You woke up on the wrong side of the bed and your mood is off, you spilled it, you mad, this person's driving too fast. Like everything just is it's a domino effect. You're hypersensitive. That is a really good way to eliminate ownership and control of your day. So try your best before when you lay down, you recognize your spirit. Some people say people are faced with spirit. I would say you could also say your energy or your feelings. If they are not in alignment, if they're not of peace, if you're not feeling your best, you could revisit that in prayer time. You can journal about it, but find a way to neutralize the emotion before you turn the page on the next day. This is a really great practice to teach your kids as well. It's a great way to manage your emotions. And I think it's a great way to take control of your next day, especially if you had a bad day that day. Hey, Joaquin. She said, I seriously get exhausted by the thought of having to make every decision for me, my children, my mom, work. Yes, that's a real thing. Yes. So if you could find a way to take an inventory of all the decisions that you have to make the day before, and then just pick which one's a priority. I don't know if you joined at the beginning, but throw some things you're going to have to delete. It's not priority in the season anymore. Some things you got to defer. It's priority, but there's some other things that are time sensitive. Some things you have to delegate. All on my village. I need you. And then some things you just got to do. However you classify it, each day when you time block the things that you have to do, fit them in time schedule. And if you don't get to it, it spills over to the next day until you finish it. Whenever I map out my week, the goal is to finish the task I assigned for the week. If I don't finish it that day, I'm interrupted, something happens, family emergency, fine, breathe. God give me the strength to get through it the next day. I just add it to the next day until it's finished. That has really helped me to be focused and goal-oriented. So I don't allow the task to die, even if I've had to defer it, not involuntarily. Yeah, for sure. So your night routine matters. So I talked about your energy. I also talked about sitting down to plan the day before. Like, also think about what you're consuming the night before, because that also rolls into the day. So I'll be honest. Lately I've been watching P-Valley on Amazon Prime, and I know that show is very controversial. I appreciate the story plot and the variation of characters. I get to experience what other people experience in life through their lens. But I do notice that when I watch that show and I fall asleep watching it, some of the things that I digested like continue into my next day. And I'm very self-aware. So imagine our kids, for one, or teens, young adults, what have you, who may not have yet developed a level of self-aware, the things that they're consuming in their minds, like literally, like absorbing it like a sponge, follows them to the next day. Example. Euphoria, the show that's like very kind of like sad. It's good, but the storyline is like it's a lot. Like it's emotionally depleting to me. It's a lot happening, like it's high intensity emotion. Same thing with This Is Us. It's so good that you feel like your emotions are being like you're invested in the show, that you're crying, you're sad, you're thinking about. Like, think about if you went to sleep with that on your conscience, that didn't delete. So the things that you're doing at night can transcend into your day. Being sensitive about that is all that I'm saying. Joaquin, yes, it sticks like glue. Yeah, some stuff we could just pull out because we just don't want it to be there. So if you find that you have difficulty having peace or experiencing joy throughout the day, or you would like to have better energy, think about what you're consuming at night. So maybe instead you might go to YouTube and type in something of inspiration. If you're a person of faith, you type in a powerful message. I like Pastor Mike Todd, Pastor Keon. You can also tune into my pastor, Keith Battle. But find something that edifies you so that you've already started your day. That is like a gym for people who are really good at managing their time. So instead of having that slow start, you have a jump start the night before. So your night routine, it matters. If you can teach your kids this too, a great skill for them to use as they transition into college. Hey, Walter. Walter says, great point. Yes, transfer these skills. They just not for us. I want y'all to share the wealth. All right, that's all I got for tonight's time management hacks. I'll recap by saying you cannot manage time. Time is indefinite existence. You didn't create it. You can't control it. The only thing you can do is organize your time. The things that you have control, when we're not controlling the things that we can control, we're being controlled. So if you're not in control of how your time is being organized, the things that you're doing are controlling your time. So you win that back by organizing it. You can take ownership, throw some D's on it. What do you need to delete? Meaning remove. It's not priority. No longer in alignment. It's no longer a need. Maybe you're doing it out of like obligation. Revisit that. Are you people pleasing? Some things need to be deferred. Not right now. It's important, but not this quarter. Some things need to be like delegated. Call on your village. Do you need help? Put your pride aside. Who else can help you? And then lastly, some things just got to get done. The things that have to get done, think about how you can practically organize them. Time block. Habit stack, and think about your night routine prior to the day starting. If you are just watching day live, I want you to go back and catch the replay. My goal is that all of the episodes are very brief and succinct so that you could keep coming back. So I don't want to talk you off to death and then you never come back. But I was excited to share these things with you. These are a lot of productivity gems that I've been learning and that I have seen have an impact in how I'm able to own my day. And I want you to have ownership of your day too. I can't remember next week's topic, but we're going to continue on like the wheel of like ownership of your day. I can't remember if it's relationship management. You'll see it. It'll come up. But tell me what you learned today. What was your biggest takeaway? You can drop that in the comments. I would love to know, what was your biggest takeaway from today? What's something that you would like to implement in our practice? I would love to hear that. Robert says he will keep coming back too. We love to see it. We like repeat family members. And Darius said, we will come back. Darius running in capital letters. Hey, Darius, good to see you. Thank you for joining tonight. Good stuff. And Walter says, the takeaway, delegating when necessary. Yes. Who can you call on? What's the point of having people that you call family if you can't call them? I'm talking about people who you say, that's my ride or die. That's my ace moon coon. That's my sandbox. That's my, I don't know, whatever terms we use. Yeah, call on them. And sometimes what you're delegating might not even be a time sucker to them, just one to you. Could be something they do really easy. Just asking them. Yes, Joaquin, night routine's priority. Win your day the day before it starts. And that's in the evening. So that means y'all got some homework. So I'm going to give y'all some homework real quick. Homework. I just want you to make a list of all your commitments. Ooh, I know that sounds exhausting, but you got to start somewhere. Make a list of everything you're committed to by obligation, by choice. Everything, whatever you do on Saturdays, Sundays, obviously work, if you have children, if you have elderly parents. Make a commitment, make the list of everything. It wasn't until I made a list of all the commitments, my executive boards, my volunteerism, I was like, oh no, something got to go. This is too much. Sometimes we don't realize what we're committed to because we're so passionate about it until you see it on paper. So make a list of those things. Throw some D's on everything on that list. You keeping it? You deferring it, you delegating it, you getting it up out of there. Like throw some D's on it. And then plan out your week based on what you say you're committing to do. That's your homework. That's your homework. What can time management? We didn't create it, we can't control it. All we can do is organize it. Yep. That's it. That is it. All right, that's all I got for you guys. I love you. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. I'll see you next Tuesday, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Sharp. Don't be late. I love you. There's absolutely nothing you do about it.